Good afternoon, everybody. How we doing? I said, how we doing? Yeah, don't you hate when people do that? I hate that. I just lost my microphone. Hold on 1 second. Good afternoon. My name is Seth Young. I'm one of the founding partners at GmbH Consulting, also involved with a number of startups, including HefeBet. Today, we're going to have a really interesting panel. To my right is Paris Smith. Paris boasts a career in online gaming spanning more than 20 years, which includes more than 17 years as the CEO of Pinnacle, which is still in all of the trading rooms today. Paris's resume is as long as it is impressive, and today she leverages her experience as an investor and advisor across the industry. For a fun fact about Paris, which I like to start with, since her departure from Pinnacle, she has been training miniature horses and is going for a gold medal in the Mini Pony Romperoni World Championships. So let's give Paris a warm welcome. Paris is right. We have Nico. These are fake, by the way. Nico Jansen, who is an entrepreneur and investor based in Munich with over a decade of experience in the industry. Nico began his career in 2012 and has worked across the entire value chain in the space. For a fun fact about Nico, he was once trapped in an elevator with Johnny Cash, who kept pushing the down button and remarking, "I went down, 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 and the flames went higher." So those are my panelists, and here we go. We're looking for the presentation up on the screen if somebody wants to throw that up here. Or I can just talk for a while and tell you jokes, one or the other.
And they move faster.
Looks like we have some technical difficulties. All right, so let's start. The first topic we're going to go through is the high upside investable opportunities. So we typically use the term internet gaming or iGaming to describe online casino, but in reality, it's a really broad term that can refer to any online gaming opportunity. So we'll start with Paris and then go to Nico. When you think about where you want to invest your time, your money, or both in the internet gaming ecosystem, what is the most interesting things that you're seeing? What do you like? What are you attracted to?
Well, of course, innovation. However, I think with innovation, it's very difficult because the whole concept of the integration. So, something that's going to produce more money is where I'm looking at with acquisition, retention, and something that has a proof of concept.
Are there any companies that spring to mind that are super interesting that you're saying, wow, that's a good one, I wish I was in it, or I am in it, or I missed this?
Yeah, well, there's one, Forever Network. I'm a big fan of them. I love their content. And then also there's Hot Takes, which is great. It's a group of younger guys that are educating and also putting an angle of responsible gaming, which I think is a good start.
Awesome. Over to Nico, same question. What's exciting to you, whether it's a vertical, a specific company, in B2C, B2B?
So first of all, if we see it on a global scale, right? These are the kind of emerging markets like Brazil or India, which is just around the corner. And I would specifically and or run own affiliate opportunities within these markets. From my perspective, the US game has already been played. Probably we will see as soon as one of the. So we're already live in New York, which is one of the 4 big states. The next one could be Florida, then Texas or California. So I'm pretty sure this ship has already been sailed. But on a global scale, it will be quite interesting to just see where the traffic is coming from at these emerging markets like Brazil or India.
So definitely emerging markets are a fantastic opportunity. When you look at sports betting, for example, in the US, do you see innovative product now? Has that ship kind of sailed? When you're looking at the ecosystem, is it the ancillary market, B2B, that's more attractive? Is it reg tech? Paris, start with you. We'll go to Nico.
Yeah, I think the B2B is very exciting. There's a lot of opportunities, but again, the catch is finding that integration time. But it's required because it's hard for a sportsbook or a company within themselves to come up with something innovative when you're trying to run your company through compliance, regulation, et cetera.
So there's a lot of commoditized product with high barriers to entry.
Yeah.
Nico, any comments on that one?
Yeah, so what's quite interesting about the US, if you just take a look at how the overall landscape and how the market shares are distributed, so it's the FanDuel and DraftKings, which nearly make 75-8% of the overall market share. But we see some big dogs entering this one as well, like the Fanatics, the ESPN bets. Apple just released a sports app as well, where they have the underlying odds by DraftKings. So from this perspective, as the DraftKings and the FanDuels, they have an underlying DFS product. So the big dogs, they have deep pockets as well. And I'm pretty sure as soon as they want to transfer or convert their existing customer bases with Fanatics, they just need to find out how they can actually do it. And then competition keeps you in condition. This will be very, very interesting to see in the US, how customers will be converted to sports bettors as well. And this is, for me, one of the big issues or the opportunities which I see in the US.
Fantastic. So I love controversy and courting it, and I have the luxury of not having to give my opinion on this one. So I'm going to ask my two panelists to be as controversial or not as they like. The next topic I want to cover are the most yawn-worthy opportunities in the market. What do we hate? What do we see all the time? What really sucks? So going in the complete opposite direction, as investors, as advisors, as longtime, executives within the space, what areas of the market do you see today that are just so commoditized, underperforming, more of a fad than a trend, too crowded? What do you just intensely dislike, if anything? And Nico, we can start with you if you like.
Okay, so first of all, shout out to all the entrepreneurs taking a risk. It's easy to sitting here and then, ex-post taking a look at, I always told you it's not going to fly, it's not going to run. So first of all, taking the risk is always awesome. But of course, there are some things. I don't like the micro-betting approach at all. It doesn't kind of, catch me. So I'm more a kind of traditional sports bettor, and of course, it used to look like a hyped up Excel sheet, and now they're making it more convenient. So we're using apps, etc. But if you need something which I don't really like, it's the micro betting.
Fantastic. The topic of the last panel that we did in this format at G2E, we had zero consensus on micro betting. It was really contentious, and I absolutely loved it. Paris, moving on to you, what do you think is just overhyped at this point? What are you looking at that is just no good?
This is hard to say because I have some very dear friends in the area, but exchange betting, if it was great, Betfair would have killed the market when they were here in the 2000s. It's easy. It's a much easier technology to put in place. However, it's just not in the market. There's a place for it, but you have to have the liquidity and you have the different state areas. It's just not something that's going to be compatible for the U.S. market at this point.
So we say it at this point, but do you think your opinion might change on that in 5 years or 10 years? No?
It hasn't changed in 30 years.
Fantastic. Love it. Love it. This is the greatest panel, right? All right, let's move on to the next topic. There's been a lot of buzz around internet lottery, iLottery, particularly with DraftKings' acquisition of Jackpocket, emerging companies like EQL Games as a challenger in the supplier space for the US iLottery market and beyond. So the industry is really kind of shining a light on this sector now, particularly as the proliferation of iGaming in the US has slowed down just slightly. The total addressable market opportunity for online lottery is much larger than online casino and sports betting combined, and often overlooked. So my question, starting with Paris, is do you think that we'll see other B2C operators start leaning into iLottery? Where do you see this sector potentially going? What are your views on the market in general, if you have opinions here?
I have, in the past, when I was on the outside looking into America, to see how lotteries were so exploited and, they go after all the wrong people to get the money from them. Of course, it goes to the taxes, and then it's supposed to be helping schools. I get that part. But when there was a nose turned up to sports betting and casinos, and they were allowing lotteries, that really agitated me. So now, of course, it's all about profit. I do think that some of the B2B or some of the B2C groups are going to look more into that. But it's, you're really going after the dream on that. Your chance of winning a lottery versus a sports bettor or even in the casino, it's I think it's very unfair. You're exploiting poor people.
So now this is not in the notes, so this is just me asking that. Do we think that maybe parlay betting is going more in that direction with 10 legs, 13 legs, whatever it may be? Is that more akin to a lottery ticket, or is it more of a skilled sports bet in your view?
Well, at least you have a chance. So it is lean more towards a skill, but it's, once you start hitting 13 on up, then it's like a lottery.
Fair. Nico, what do you think?
So just touching down on the parlay betting, because we see this in Africa, where, with a very small stake, like comparable to €1 or $1, they just combine like 13 up to 20 matches. So this is actually like buying a lottery ticket. But I would kind of rephrase the headline, not just based on the US lottery, because we've seen it in Europe as well, where Lottomatica, Italian lottery group buying into SKS. We've seen it French company FDJ buying Kindred. So these are existing lotteries buying into the operators, while in the US, we're seeing DraftKings buying Prize Picks, if I'm not mistaken. Jackpot. So this is the other way around, where just an existing gaming operator buys into the lotteries. Why are they actually doing this? Because it's a brick and mortar vertical, which brings in decent money on a weekly basis, and it's not as stigmatized and not seen as gambling and gaming as we know it. So that's pretty much a smart move.
Very cool. And we see in Europe, more so than the US, scratcher content, instant win content. There's different rules here around what lotteries and what iGaming companies that are active in lottery states can and can't do. So I think it's a very fascinating crossover. Moving on, we have 3 topics left, and then my last one, the rapid fire round, which I think is fun. I want to talk about the casino content and game studios from an investment perspective, an area of interest for myself, for a lot of other people. As online casino continues to proliferate across the country, do you think this is, a lot of new innovative content is going to be a priority for operators? Do you think there's opportunity to see new and interesting game studios pop up from nothing to something? Or is this something that's left to the incumbents? What are your feelings on this space?
I think for the game studios, that's one of the opportunities from an AI perspective to get that continual content, because that's what people want. They want to have a ton of different options, to see something different is what everybody's shooting for. So rather than trying to build out 12 games a month, you could build out 15 games a day with AI. And I think, when it really starts hitting and you get the responsible gaming in place and the regulators are more comfortable with the iGaming, with the casinos, I think it's going to be very good.
I love to hear that, particularly because I have some IP around personalized slots. So that's fantastic. Thanks for the softball. Nico, how about you? How do you feel about casino content and game studios?
So it will be a big thing. As of now, if I'm not mistaken, 6 or 7 states just licensed iGaming in the US. So there's a lot of states probably in the pipeline already. So we have the classical slots games, which Paris already touched on, but we also have the live dealer casinos as well, which are, everybody providing these services or setting up these services is trying to get it right. As of now, Evolution obviously got it right, so it's the Swedish success story. Everybody loves it, and One thing which will be quite interesting, as of now, we did not see any investments or big investments by Las Vegas Sands. So they are sitting on a lot of money, and they specifically told that they want to invest into B2B services. So if they will start heavily investing into games providers, live dealer casinos, then I'm pretty sure we will just see a change in the overall landscape as well, especially as it comes to providing games and live dealer casino games as well.
Very cool. Just one follow-up question here, because I think this is a fascinating area. I'm obsessed with twisting the form factors of slots. So you have the same underlying slot math, but completely different themes. Something that might look like a board game or an RPG, first-person shooter game. Do you think that is the future of slots, or do you think we just see the same old, same old?
I think it's going to be a lot of the same old, same old. I mean, look at the Vegas slots. They have some minor changes, but it's all still conceptually the same.
Yeah, we still don't know. Everybody tries to, kind of cater for the Gen Z. Probably these kind of user-based themed slots might do the trick and, activating the Gen Z, but we don't know yet. But for sure, it's worth a look.
But those slots are going to be created, the new exciting ones, not by the current casino providers. It's going to be the new people coming up.
Yep.
And then, I think that's when it's going to get a little bit more exciting.
I think we can all agree on that. So we're going to go to the next topic, which I don't know if everybody's sick of talking about AI, but I like talking about it at least for 2 minutes. So seems like we can't really go anywhere without talking about it. So in your view, and starting with Nico, where do you see the most interesting applications of AI in the gaming space generally? It could be anywhere.
So first of all, it just depends on what markets you're talking about, right? So as soon as it comes to create a bet, specify a bet, create my own bet, this won't happen in Germany, as whatever bets you're able to offer is just whitelisted. So AI won't play a role pretty much in Germany. I'm pretty sure with the new licensing regime in the UK will not work as well. So in Germany, we're usually using AI and AI technology with support matters. As soon as someone has a question, this will be answered. But probably here in the US, as soon as make a bet, specify my bet will be a thing in the US. This might be interesting, especially for startups to actually use whatever ChatGPT version for gaming, and then I'm pretty sure we will just see a disruption, not just being on the supportive side, but also on the gaming side as well.
And I think there's so many opportunities with AI that haven't been looked into as yet. So, yesterday there was a whole track on responsible gaming. You should be able to utilize AI and patterns to limit the numbers of people that are, even currently manually looking at gameplay and sportsbook patterns and things like that. And, I think there's a lot of new opportunities that they haven't even explored yet. Everybody says, oh, we use AI in our models, and there's a point where it can help, and that's where people need to be, is looking at how it can be supported. I don't know if it's a total solution for anything.
I think it's a great tool to help people make decisions, right? You could see it in creating content from a media or affiliate perspective, predictive modeling, predictive analytics to predict player values, churn, and so on, generative AI for game design. There's a lot of interesting applications here that I think are really interesting and left to great entrepreneurs to come up with really cool companies. So let's move on to the last one. This is the rapid fire round. I'm going to ask a series of questions. They're either yes or no answers or over/under answers. And I'm going to ask Nico and Paris to give their predictions about these topics. So we're going to start with some easy ones. Over/under, and we'll start with Nico and go to Paris. Over/under 1.5 states to legalize and regulate iGaming in 2024. iGaming being online casino.
Over.
Over/under 1.5 current U.S. operators closing their doors in 2024.
Over,
yeah.
Over/under 1.5 new entrants to the sportsbook and or online casino market in the U.S. in 2024.
Over,
yeah.
Okay, do you believe, this is a yes or no question, that the companies operating fixed odds fantasy sports, like the Prize Picks, the Underdogs Better, will be successful in re-entering the states in which they recently were forced to cease operation?
over, no, yes.
Yes.
Yeah. Do you believe that any commercial operator will eventually launch, a non-tribal operator will eventually launch mobile sports betting in California?
No.
Yeah, which year are you talking about?
Any year.
Yeah, then it will happen at some point.
Okay. Do you believe that any new competitor that may enter the U.S. sports betting or iGaming market is capable of achieving 10% market share?
Yes.
Yeah.
See?
These are great topics to expand upon.
Sorry, no.
Yeah. Fantastic. Okay, another yes, no. Do you think it might be easier to pass law or regulation for online poker and channelize that really large gray market if it was decoupled from online casino efforts?
Yes.
No.
Do you believe it should be decoupled from online casino efforts in interest of channelizing that market?
Yes.
Interesting. Do you believe that any offshore brand, that previously served the U.S. market in legal ambiguity will attempt to enter the market and obtain a license?
That left the U.S. market?
Sure.
When?
Anytime.
Well, it's all about timing, so I'm a little bit,
Sure, of course.
yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, everybody deserves a second chance, so yes.
So German.
Some might argue that they have tremendous databases that will help continue to channelize the black market. If you had $100 million and a blank slate, would you launch a new brand in the United States today?
No.
No, I'll just take the money, buy a house somewhere in the Alps, and enjoy myself.
Fair.
Yeah.
Same question, $500 million.
Not in the U.S.
No, still the same. You know, I would retire instantly. Yeah. That's yeah. Why keeping your head up? Just enjoy life.
Fantastic. Well, look, we're out of time. Let's give a hand to our panelists for a really fun panel. Thank you so much.